My grandpa kicked us out on Christmas Eve. He didn't just kick us out of our house, he erased my dead father's entire existence to please a stranger. You probably grew up thinking that family always comes first, or that grandparents are these sweet, protective figures who would do anything for their grandkids. You are wrong. Sometimes, the people who share your blood are the ones holding the knife behind your back. Let me take you back to where it started. My dad passed away in a car accident when I was 12. My mom and I were absolutely crushed. At the funeral, my grandfather, my dad's own father, held my mom's hand and cried with us. He told us, "Sell your apartment. Come live in the family estate. It's big enough and I don't want to be alone in that big house with my son gone." It felt like a blessing. For 2 years, that house was our sanctuary. My grandfather became my hero. He stepped in when my dad couldn't be there. We were finally healing. But then he met Linda. Linda was younger, flashy, and she didn't come alone. She brought her 2 grown sons from a previous marriage. They got married after knowing each other for only 3 months. That's when the energy in the house shifted. It started with small things. Linda told my grandfather that seeing my dad's photos in the hallway was too depressing for a newlywed couple, so she took them down. I waited for my grandfather to yell at her to put them back up, but he didn't. He just watched. Then, her sons decided they didn't like sharing a bathroom. My mom and I were asked to move out of the main bedrooms and into the small guest rooms in the attic. I begged my grandfather to say something. I asked him, "Grandpa, this is Dad's house too, isn't it?" He just looked at the floor and said, "Linda is the lady of the house now. We have to make compromises to keep the peace." The compromise ended on Christmas Eve. We were all sitting at dinner, and the tension was thick. Linda tapped her glass and cleared her throat. She looked at my mom and said, "This arrangement isn't working. The house feels too crowded with 2 families. My boys need more space." I looked at my grandfather. This was the moment. This was when he would slam his hand on the table and defend his son's widow and his grandson. Instead, he reached into his pocket and handed my mom a white envelope. Inside was $5,000. He said, "This should help you with a deposit on a rental. You have 2 weeks." I watched him tear down the treehouse he built for me the next day because Linda's sons wanted a pool. We moved into a motel on New Year's Day. I lost my home, my grandfather, and my respect for him, all in one night. That was 5 years ago. My mom worked 2 jobs, we scraped by, and I promised myself I would never rely on anyone else again. I started an online business, worked 18-hour days, and eventually I bought my mom her own house, a place nobody can ever take away from her. Last week my phone rang. It was my grandfather. His voice was shaking. It turns out Linda wasn't in it for love. She had divorced him, taken half his savings, and because the house was put in her name during the marriage, she got that too. He was staying in a cheap 1-bedroom apartment, completely alone. He asked if he could come stay with us for old time's sake, just until he got back on his feet. I thought about the attic. I thought about the photos she took down. I thought about my mom crying in a motel room on New Year's Day. I said, "I'm sorry, Grandpa, but our house is just a little too crowded for 2 families," and I hung up. He chose his new life over us. Now he has to live with it.